Huh?
They got to get out of their head.
Yeah, well, how funny you mentioned heads, and we got Virgo, somebody who has definitely a lot going on in their head. Virgo was the next sign. Virgos. What is depressing? Gosh. Stained is pretty depressing.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while since I fucking found anything worth living for.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm like going through my own Spotify playlist, and then I'm like going through like my 40,000 DJ tracks. I'm like,
Well, let's see. It said the most depressing songs. We got a couple Radiohead songs on there. How to Disappear Completely. True Love Walls.
Maybe just sitting in your room and listening to like Slipknot.
The Smiths, I Know It's Over. We got another. Radiohead's got three of the top four.
Why do you think every time I went to Coachella, I saw Radiohead once, but I always avoided Radiohead. I was like, I'm not. It's just like.
Anne just texted me. She said Morrissey.
Well, yeah, but I would say that Radiohead is depressing.
Yeah,
it's depressing at Coachella too. Back in the day when it was real, when Coachella was gangster.
They got some trippy songs as well, though.
They do, but then it makes sense now to me, actually, just thinking about this. Like, the people that were obsessed with Radiohead at Coachella were depressed beings. Right. Sorry, just giving out some truth. Virgo, let's see what's going on.
Everybody Hurts by R.E.M.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's the one. For sure.
Well, I was going to say, maybe a Sheryl Crow song here or there, or like a Alanis Morissette, those Geminis, but they definitely like give the whole like, well, fuck you. So, I don't know. Actually, I don't think there's anything more depressing than listening to mainstream radio. 3 of Wands, Virgo, is your first card. That's an awesome card. It's definitely opening up to new lanes and to new highways in your life. I like this card, rendition of the world, and definitely out on the bike having a good time. But it's time to move into new directions, relationship wise, open up new doors. I think that you might be hyper focused on some things that maybe that's not just like where it is. Or if you're in a relationship, you definitely need to be more open. Maybe your partner's asking for you to like open up in different ways, and it's time to take that open door and open up to new perspectives. You got the first house as your issue, the body too. This has to deal with your identity. Maybe you're not feeling confident right now in yourself. Could be a body issue. Could be more, maybe your work, something like that. Something that's not making you feel confident in yourself. Maybe you even get maybe your partner, or maybe somebody you're dating that has wandering eyes, and then that makes you go, oh shit. I think that you need to be more open and show the dreams that are possible in your life and the visions that you want to have. And maybe that's hard for you. Maybe because of the identity that you're stuck in right now. So there's definitely some identity issues going on, and whether or not it's time to expand those into a different place is definitely not even a question. It is time to do that. You pulled the 3 of Wands again. I mean, if I'm getting 3 of Wands twice now, I like this zombie deck because there's that family up there playing on the piano, and there comes the zombies with a big bone that they ate off something. It looks like they probably ate it off an elephant. And they're coming into that house, and they're just up there, we're just singing, having a nice time up here. Not paying attention to their environment and to their world is another 3 of Wands thing, and looking out at new things. I think that you are hyper-focused on something that you think is beautiful, that you don't know that something's knocking at that door. Zombie-wise. We'll see what the shadow is to help you out here. What is that shadow? Oh, you're bright in a cage. You feel stuck in a cage. I think that you're creeping within yourself, or you're trapping yourself in a situation, into an identity situation. I think this is about your own identity. I think this is about your own ego. It's definitely this first house. It's dealing with your rising sign here. I would say that you're definitely in a place where it's like, does this identity open the world that you even want to be? If you're stressing over work, or what you do for work, or what you do in your life, and who you are, how you represent yourself, there has to be some tweaking. I'm not saying that you have to do full crazy stuff, but there definitely has to be some tweaking, and that eventually leads to full stuff. The clarifier for the Three of Wands the first time is the Judgment card. Wow. Definitely need a higher divine purpose here in your life that you want to go to. I think that's actually something that you do have. I just think that it's like maybe needing to integrate that more in your life and the partners that you choose, or in the relationship. It needs to find some sort of purpose that's divine by God or divine by spirit. Without that, I mean, it's basically kind of just like hopeless romantic. Why'd you pull this Three of Wands twice? Eight of Wands upright. Well, that's a great card. I mean, it's definitely the arrows of love moving in new directions. This is saying it's time to kind of move on to different areas. Look at different areas, or in your relationship, you need to bring the fire back. You need to bring the love back. You need to bring some positive energy back. I feel that you might be the Debbie Downer this week, that you are the one having to change your perspective and find a purpose and move out of the energy that you're in. I think if you're dating right now, I think that you're focused on relationship situations, or maybe a partnership that you already know is not really that great. And it's like, it doesn't have that much purpose. I think there's a fake purpose here that's not big. I don't know why I'm feeling that, especially we'll see right now. I'm feeling like there is Six of Cups. Okay. I think that's interesting. It's like, okay, is this more of a friendship than a love situation? Because I always feel that with Six of Cups. I especially feel like it's like, or stuck on memories, or you're stuck on an ex or something like that too. And, I'll add that in there, but I wasn't supposed to pull that. Four of Cups. Yeah, it's something that you don't want, but you're kind of like, it's boredom. It's definitely feeling like, I don't know if I really want this. If you're dating, if you're in a relationship, your relationship's definitely going through some like, how do I get back those good memories? It's not feeling that way right now. Past life. So if you're in a partnership, you're going through your past life situation. If you're dating right now, it's like, are you about to go into a past life fuck show? I don't think so. And I think that you have to reflect back and go like, where did things not really work out the way that you want to? And I think for yourself, it's like moving into the energy that connects to the past life energy, that connects you to where you want to be, instead of kind of messing around with this energy that's not really you, or you want to keep going through again. You pulled Saturn in the 6th house, in Capricorn. That's the house of enemies. Interesting. I would say in Capricorn too. Wow. I would say that this is definitely needing to take a responsibility for your life and clean up a lot of things in your life, especially if you're dealing with a partner who's messy or in drugs, or including yourself. This would mean that maybe like the stress that's overwhelming you right now, there is some sort of force that's kind of after you, and it might feel like it's your partner, but you got to look at yourself, and you got to look at how you're conducting yourself, and you got to look at where your environment is in your mind, and especially your soul, and even your mental health and stuff like that. And you got to get a better grip on things this week, because I feel like relationship wise for you need a partner that like understands you, but is willing to call your shit out, instead of you kind of getting away with whatever the fuck you want that is not in alignment right now.
And it can't be about trying to recreate the past or recreate happy experiences. It's always about the evolution. Sometimes we get kind of caught up in this thought process of, if we can get back to this certain situation, then X, Y, and Z will get fixed. It'll bring that happiness back if I can recreate the happiness that I once felt. And that's just going to perpetuate the issue of going back and forth of the ups and downs, which we need the ups and downs, but you have to have that appreciation of creating the new memories, of creating the new happiness, creating that new blissful sensation in your life, instead of just focusing on the past and what it could have been, or things could have turned out a little bit differently, because they are what they are. You're in this place in your life because of the emotional ups that you went through, and through the emotional stresses that you went through. But you have to tap into the progression of going forward. You have to tap into knowing that things aren't always going to be how you want it. You can't force situations to just play out in your life. You have to kind of let them unfold as you take those necessary steps to keep on going, to keep on pushing forward. So I think it's really focusing on the future and yeah, taking tidbits of information from the past, from their past relationships, and it could not even be the relationship that you're in. Honing on a little bit of that happiness and pushing forward. But don't dwell on the past, and don't try to recreate that happiness, because you're just going to miss out on the progression of the future that's coming right for you.
Yeah, and I think that trying to bring back memories, I think was the best thing you said. Like, and then I got kind of like through a false sense of somebody else or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up a trigger. Have you ever like hooked up with somebody, whether you kissed them or sometimes maybe you went all the way, and you thought about somebody else?
But of course.
I think everybody's been there once or twice in their life. So,
Or just even the thought, like when you're with that individual and you're like, oh, I wish that I was with this other person. You
yeah,
know?
I
And
think that comes
can
up
actually
more.
like bring that, like knowing if you kind of are on the fence about someone, that's like, okay, yeah, I should pursue that. I'm in the wrong spot, wrong place, wrong time.
I think I was in my 20s. I dated this girl, and I remember I was just like, well, they kind of remind me of this girl I liked, and then I like thought about that other girl while I was having fun in bed, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then one time I was the victim of that because one of my exes, like her fiance passed away, and then she ended up, hanging out with me for a week, and she was doing the same thing to me. So I felt it on both sides, but I was cool with it because, I mean, she went through a traumatic experience and I was there for her, but like, it happens. And I feel like Virgos might be going through some of that right now. Call me crazy. Call me crazy, but that's just going on.